Hi everyone, I picked up this 18-pound prime bone-in ribeye whole vacuum pack from Costco. In this video, I'm going to break it down into a prime rib roast, back ribs, and ribeye steaks. Please stay tuned. Okay, let's go ahead and take this out of the vacuum pack. All right, so we have a, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rib bone-in ribeye. It's a beautiful piece of meat. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is just wipe down the roast, get any excess blood wiped up. Not too bad, actually. Next thing I want to do is I want to cut off what I need for our prime rib dinner. So we have 5 people sitting down for dinner, and I'll probably need at least 2, if not 3 ribs. I think 3 might be too much. So I think I'm going to cut off 2, and that should be more than enough for 5 people. Okay, before I cut that off, let's go ahead and take out these little feather bones here. I am by no means a butcher. I don't even claim to be close to what those professional butchers can do, but I've seen the bearded butchers do this, so it's a good technique to take out these little feather bones before butchering up the rest of this. Okay, there's 2. Okay. All right, so we got those feather bones out, and I am going to cut off, like I said, 2 bones, and I'm going to cut it right here between the second and the third bone. Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, here's that cut end. You can see that beautiful marbling all through here. It's beautiful. Okay, so let me just set this aside. Okay, the plan for this prime rib is to cut away this bone. So I'm going to cut it close to the bone and keep as much of the meat on there as possible. I'm going to start on top. And feel the bone as I cut down. Trying to keep as much of the meat on the roast as possible. Now later on I am going to do the same thing with the rest of the back ribs, but I'm going to try to keep a little more meat on the ribs, and that will be for smoking. But for these, I'm going to go in nice and tight to try to get as much of the meat on the roast as possible. Okay, so there's my prime rib. Okay, so you can see that big section of fat. So I'm going to trim this away. Okay, we're going to save this fat for tallow, but I think that looks pretty good. I will truss this up to keep nice shape on it for our prime rib. Okay, so there is our prime rib roast that we're going to have for Christmas dinner. Okay. Okay, so these nice little morsels will be cooked up in the infrared grill. We'll munch on those. Here we go. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate out these back ribs. But instead of going close to the bone, I'm going to take some extra meat along with it so we get some nice thick back ribs. Because the problem that we have, like at least that I have, is finding good beefy, thick beef ribs. So that's what I plan to do here is add a little meat or keep a little meat on that back rib. So let's go ahead and first I'm going to trim out this piece of fat here right at the top of the rib. Okay, again, we're going to save this for tallow. Let's go 3 like this. Set this aside. All right. Now I want to cut down the bone, but instead of hugging the bone, I'm going to come out a little bit wider. So I'm going to start off about a ½ inch from the bone. Now the back ribs that you find in the market are usually really thin, kind of like the one that I cut off of the ribeye roast. And that's to maximize the amount of meat on the ribeye, because what's remaining is going to be a ribeye steak. But I have the luxury of being able to make these ribs a little fatter, a little thicker with more meat. And this is what I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I'm going to just keep about a ½ inch or so of meat onto that back rib. Now I am sacrificing some of the muscle on the ribeye steaks, but that's okay because I can make up for it by making these steaks a little thicker. Okay, so that's looking good. And then I want to go ahead and cut this across this way. All right, so there's my nice meaty back rib. So let me set that aside for now. Okay, now from this section, I want to, again, cut away this end piece, this fatty end piece. So I want to go ahead and cut along here. All right. Okay. Now it's from this that I'm going to cut my steaks. I'm going to leave this fat on and cut it off after I cut my steaks. So I want to go some really nice thick steaks. I'll probably go a good 2 inches. I think, yeah, 2 inches. Those will be nice fat steaks. All right, so let's go, let's see, right about here and right about here. Okay. So again, one of the luxuries of buying a big bone-in vacuum pack ribeye is that you can cut these to whatever size you want. Okay, so we have these beautiful ribeye steaks. So now let's go ahead and trim off the fat. Okay, so there's a nice thick 2-inch steak. Got that beautiful spinalis there where all the flavor is. Let's go ahead and set these aside. For this section, I'm going to basically do the same thing as I did with the last section. I'm going to cut out the back rib, keep a lot of meat on there, and steak these out. But with these steaks, I think I'll make them a little bit smaller. The previous steaks were big, thick 2-inch steaks. I'm going to make these closer to inch to inch and a half. So let's. All right, so I'm going to cut these into steaks, but let me trim off again some of this fat. We have. Okay. Here's the final breakdown of the prime bone-in ribeye. The first thing I did was to cut out the prime rib roast, which is this, and I cut out the bone, keeping it nice and thin. These will both be smoked for Christmas dinner. Then I removed these backbones, this and this, from these steaks. So the first set of steaks are nice, thick, 2-inch ribeye steaks. And we have some thinner 1-inch steaks. And I have a few scraps here that we'll snack on. I'm going to season up this prime rib roast and dry brine it overnight and smoke it up tomorrow for Christmas dinner. For the rest of this, we're going to wrap it up and vacuum seal it and place it in the freezer. So there you have it. This has been a breakdown of a whole bone-in prime ribeye. We'll be using this for prime rib, ribeye steaks, and beef back ribs. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider liking and sharing this video with people you know. Please consider subscribing to our channel. We would really appreciate your support. And as always, thank you so much for watching.